Starting off with number 10, Meghan has been heavily criticized for her actions from the press, public, and even former friends. A former friend of Meg's accused the Duchess of being fame-hungry and said Meghan's goal was always to become a household name. She's insanely smart and poised, but very, very guarded. She's not a person you can actually be friends with. She's the type of person who is best friends with her stylist. Ouch, Meg, is that true? After moving to Toronto to film the drama series Suits, Meghan began spending time at exclusive bar venues like Soho House, while surrounding herself with the likes of celebrity stylists Jessica Mulroney and Misha Nonu. I get it, you're getting a little attention, so you want to hang around people who have similar social status. Meghan was known to socialize with foreign heiresses, upper crust, smart, ambitious. Nona's friend told Vanity Fair they have everything and they want everything. And even though that might not necessarily be wrong, we can't help but wonder why Meg discards her old friends when newer, cooler people come in the picture. A close friend to Prince Harry, Nonu has previously been reported as the matchmaker who set him up with her new friend. Another Hollywood insider revealed that Meghan even held a Sayonara Zara party, where she gave away her old clothes once she could afford the high-end labels worn by her Suits character paralegal Rachel Zane. Am I the only one who thinks that sounds really corny? Meg, you could have simply donated the clothes you didn't want to wear anymore instead of trying to get attention over something as uninteresting as getting rid of clothes. What do you guys think? On to number 9, add relatives to the list of people who have criticized her publicly. Accusations have been made by half-sister Samantha Markle since Meg's rise to fame. In 2016, Sam told The Sun that Meghan always dreamt of being a princess, painting her as a social climber. Ironically, her dream did come true, and then she chose to step down. She has made headlines accusing Meghan of lying about paying for her own university fees and causing an irreparable rift in her relationship with her father, Thomas Markle, after she failed to call him on Christmas Day. I've never seen anyone so rude and hurtful and heartless and absent a soul in my life. Samantha Markle wrote on Twitter, "The brutal tweets revealed that Meghan hadn't spoken to her father since her May nuptials, leading him to finding out about his daughter's pregnancy through the news." Samantha added, "Apparently you're not capable of forgiveness or having a peaceful heart." Sometimes I feel like some beef should be had off the internet, and this is definitely one of those cases. Their issues are being posted for the whole world to see when they could just talk about it in private, especially if celebrities vocalize that they would like the privacy. Number 8 on our countdown, we might never know if Meghan Markle had already formulated a plan similar to Megxit when she married Prince Harry. But according to someone who knows her personally, shedding her skin and starting over is a habit of hers. It's been said that post-Megxit, Meghan is no stranger to picking up and reinventing herself. Both a go-getter as well as a shapeshifter, she returns now with more social mojo than she could have ever imagined then. By March 2020, Markle was already unleashing that social mojo in LA, where she and Harry moved from Canada. The Sussexes were previously mocked when the prince was filmed asking Disney CEO to cast Markle in something. "You know she does voiceovers," the prince reportedly said. The actress had instructed her agent to find her a role in a superhero movie. It seems as though Markle was making herself at home, but how was Harry handling it? Was the royal keeping up with his shape-shifting wife? I don't know how his career is going to map out. Dr. Jane Goodall, a famous primatologist and a good friend of Harry's, told the Radio Times, "I've been in touch, though I think he's finding life a bit challenging just now. Join the club, Harry." Apparently, Samantha isn't the only Markle who has issues within the family. Half-brother Thomas Jr. has made allegations that the other sibling has been cut out of the family. Despite Prince Harry making a comment that the royals are like the family she never had, one family member suggested this was not the case. "She's had a really good family," said Thomas Markle Jr. "We were as close as we could be, as tight as we could be. That's what we were." As we all know, it was revealed last minute that Markle's dad would not be attending her royal wedding. Confirming the news, she said, "Sadly, my father will not be attending our wedding. I have always cared for my father and hope he can be given the space he needs to focus on his health." Apparently, her actions behind closed doors did not match. The shocking news of his absence reduced both Meghan and Harry to tears. After turning up to Kensington Palace unannounced, Samantha was overcome with online abuse. However, she hit back in support of her father, saying that the Duchess should bow to the daddy, accusing her half-sister of giving fake waves and smiles, and not giving time to the one who was always there for her. Samantha simply wanted Meghan to reach out to her father so he could know she is well, happy, and to touch base. What do you think of this family drama? Is Meghan the wrong here? Number 6 on our countdown, someone call up Steve Harvey because we've got more family feuds. Samantha has claimed that Meghan is not paying enough attention to her father after making numerous attempts to speak to Meghan about the health of their 74-year-old dad. Kensington Palace refused to respond. Whether or not Meghan was aware of this, her publicist tweeted, "This doesn't need to be public. We would prefer to keep this private." Samantha is coming to the UK this week, like it or not. This could be after Markle's dad staged his own paparazzi shots before the wedding. Despite many requests for photographers to stay away from Thomas Markle, he apparently worked with members of paparazzi to stage photos showing him preparing for his daughter's royal wedding. It was alleged that he made a healthy profit from this too. While there was much speculation on this, it was reported Thomas decided not to attend the nuptials to avoid embarrassing the royal family. Only days later, he changed his mind. Forget about the Kardashians, I can't even keep up with the Markles. From what the media portrays of them, they just seem pretty dysfunctional, but at the same time, it's definitely entertaining. Meghan has allegedly hidden her half-sister's disability. Samantha, who was diagnosed with MS back in 2008 and is in a wheelchair, hiding family members' disabilities seems very familiar. I'm surprised Meg didn't get along well with another family who is known to do that. I'm looking at the royals. Samantha also believes her sister has avoided speaking out about it publicly. She has even spoken out that Meghan has abandoned the family. In addition, she said that the two sisters have not been close, especially since her diagnosis. Born 17 years apart to different mothers, their relationship was never the smoothest, and despite Samantha's claims, we doubt this is due to her disability. Samantha constantly talks bad about Meg and treats her poorly due to jealousy, so I want to say it has nothing to do with her disability, but everything to do with her attitude. What do you guys think? I personally cannot justify Samantha's actions because all she's ever done is spoken badly about her sister, which is mostly why Meg never even invited her to the royal wedding. Number 4 on our list, Meghan's older half-brother is certainly not royal family material. Just like his father, he is on his second divorce and similarly declared his own bankruptcy in 2013. However, the real topper is that Thomas Markle Jr. was taken into custody after allegedly holding a weapon to his girlfriend's head. He was charged with unlawful use of a dangerous weapon, menacing, and domestic violence. This does not sound like ideal behavior for a brother-in-law of Prince Harry, but to be fair, the royal family does have Andrew, who was only recently kicked out of the royal palace. So don't worry, Meghan, there is literally nothing worse than that. But speaking of royal family material, apparently Meghan always wanted one thing in life, and that's to become a member of the British royal family. Sounds like some manifestation to me. Now, she's never confirmed that, but her friends have said that she always had a fascination with the royals. According to some sources, this was all a part of Meghan's plan. A former friend once said she was always fascinated by the royal family. She wanted to be Princess Diana 2.0, but my advice to him is to tread cautiously. I'm not shocked at all. It's like she has been planning this all her life. She gets exactly what she wants, and Harry has fallen for her play. Talk about an awful friend for outing Meghan like that, right? Meg might not even be painted as the greatest woman, but some of her former friends, I get why she stopped talking to them. On to number 3. Fun fact, Meghan is not Markle's real name. She was born Rachel Meghan Markle, which ironically is the name of her character on Suits. Even though we don't know why Meghan decided to drop Rachel, all of her acting credits are under Meghan Markle. Perhaps, like some of her former friends have mentioned, she had always aspired to get to where she is today, and Meghan was more suited for a royal title. Was Meghan's rise to fame all part of her plan for joining the royal family? Would we have preferred Princess Meghan Meghan or Princess Rachel? Comment your thoughts on the name choice. Personally, I feel like she looks like more of a Rachel and she should have stuck with it, but regardless, either name is cute. Counting down to number 2, as we all know, it goes against royal protocol to display forms of PDA. And the late queen wasn't a fan of it either. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex had been captured holding hands and smooching. Gasp! A couple in love showing affection? How dare they, honestly. The royal family has a lot of rules that they need to follow. There's a special order that everyone has to walk in, certain ways to greet each family member, and even dress codes depending on what event they're attending. But it turns out there's no official rule against PDA in public. That being said, Queen Elizabeth always wanted her family to act professional at all times. It's kind of like when you're out in public with your parents and you just know that they don't want you kissing your partner. To the naked eye, it seems like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are madly in love. It turns out that to the trained eye, that's exactly what it looks like too. Body language expert Darren Stanton, on behalf of Slingo, says that the two really are smitten with each other. You know, because of all that hand-holding and lingering stares. With that being said, of course, once you are part of a new family, it's important to respect certain things, especially when it comes to their reputation. All the PDA made people wonder if Meg was just craving the attention and all the cameras on the couple, or, here's a shocker, she's actually in love with the person she married. What do you guys think? Is their PDA unacceptable, or should people mind their business a little more? Our final reason Meg is a social climber, remember her little friend Piers Morgan? Morgan was very vocal when it came to accusing Harry and Meghan of lying. You may remember in the Oprah Winfrey Wine-a-thon, about 17 different things that came out of their mouths were quickly proven to be untrue and were added again with a Netflix documentary. He claimed the couple now ruthlessly exploits their titles as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex for hundreds of millions of dollars. During the Oprah interview, Meg claimed that she and Prince Harry shared their vows in their backyard with the Archbishop of Canterbury, who later refuted the claims, saying the wedding was celebrated on the 19th of May, the day of their marriage, which was also publicly televised. Personally, that just doesn't seem like something you need to lie about, but then again, it could just be a tactic to get people talking about how much of a rebel princess she is. Piers addressed the issue he has with the Duke and Duchess through his tweets about the first look at the Netflix miniseries. After feeling exploited over having his soundbite used in the series, a trail of tweets followed. Honestly, I feel like Piers was excited to have his voice featured in the series because the way he obsesses over Meg, he might have a little crush on her. Morgan even called the royal a deluded, spoiled, manipulated brat, and also slammed Prince Harry for waging a relentless, vicious public war against his own family. Do you guys agree with Morgan? Is Meghan being a brat? Comment down below. Starting off with number 10, before Meghan even met Prince Harry and became friends with A-list celebrities such as George and Amal Clooney, Serena Williams, and Oprah Winfrey, she was a minor American TV actress struggling for notice on red carpets and for her next big professional opportunity. That is according to self-identified former friends in the British media, who claimed that her meeting Prince Harry was no accident. These ex-friends also said that Meg had become frustrated with how her career was proceeding in Hollywood. A self-described Anglophile, Meghan began thinking about 2013 that the UK might be the place for her to be, an idea that eventually allowed her to maneuver into the right social circles where she and Harry would cross paths. These friends claim. She told me she wanted to be on an English reality TV show and that she wanted an English boyfriend, said British TV presenter Lizzie Cundy. So was it part of Meg's plan all along to somehow find Harry and make him fall in love with her? Because the way her friends are claiming that, you never know. What do you guys think? Number 9, Cundy also said that she and Meghan met at a 2013 charity gala, the same year that the Suits actress ended her 2-year marriage to producer Trevor Engelson. Meg asked Cundy if she knew any famous guys and also stated that she's single and loves Englishmen. You and I both, Meg. Meghan also explained that she could only be in Suits for so long and that Hollywood was a really brutal place. She had not made a breakthrough and said she would feel at home in London. Cundy said Meghan set her sights on the TV show Made in Chelsea, a series that chronicles the lives of affluent young people living in London. Meghan wanted to be part of the Chelsea crowd both on and off screen. She worked hard to get in with that crowd, Kundi added. Through these circles, she eventually became acquainted with people who were friends with Harry. So, is Meg a social climber, or did this all just happen to be a coincidence? What do you think? Drop your thoughts below in the comments. Number 8, Meg ditching friends for royal status. Is Meg ditching her friends for her royal status? A former friend and colleague who said Meghan ghosted her was Gina Nelthorpe Crown, who found the future Duchess to be hugely charismatic when they first met in 2014. Nelthorpe Crown told the Daily Mail she soon became both Meghan's agent and friend. She said Meghan gushed to her about how she and Prince Harry were gonna change the world after the two took a romantic trip to Botswana in 2016. Nelthorpe Crown said she last heard from Meghan when the future Duchess told her she was giving up her career and terminating their contract. Meghan likes to move on, Nelthorpe Crown told the Daily Mail. Ouch. Meg felt no type of way about letting go of her former friends. It seems as if a couple people have claimed that she cut them off as soon as she and Harry became serious. I wonder how Harry feels about this. But at the same time, if Meg knew these people would share her business, then it would only be safer and easier for her to keep her distance from them. Clearly, they're still talking about her and airing out her past even though she doesn't talk to them anymore. Did the Duchess make the right decision? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Number 7. As much as they say you can't change the past, it seems as if Meg wishes Harry could. Apparently, she is fuming over Prince Harry hiding the identity of his former flames. Some things are better left unsaid, right? Prince Harry's past romances have reportedly caused Meghan Markle immense pain and panic, as none of it was ever shared with her before. Prince Harry is known to have had a fling with 34-year-old Real Housewives of DC star Catherine O'Mani, who recently went on the record to dish over her passionate time with the Duke. Her public admission has given rise to inside claims about Meghan Markle's reaction. According to Closer UK, Meghan was well aware Harry had a past and that he was a serious playboy who was a big hit with the ladies back in his youth. And he has never hid that from her when they were first got together. Apparently, a lot of Harry's flings were not discussed at all during personal chats, so there's an element of Meghan reading about certain relationships and secrets he shared with other women for the very first time. Meghan probably felt blindsided with revelations about her husband she never knew before. This comes even though Prince Harry reportedly asked her to stay relaxed on the subject, as it's difficult when the shocking affair is plastered all over the internet and covered in almost every news outlet. I mean, considering Harry is a prince, how could he not be a player? But at the same time, finding out about your husband's flings other than from him would definitely be annoying. It's almost as if Harry was trying to hide it from Meg. Number 6, at the peak of all the attention from the media, the couple escaped the public's interest by hiding out with their friends Ben and Jessica Mulroney for a few days. Prince Harry and Ben bonded over their shared backgrounds. Ben told stories about Prince Harry's late mother, Princess Diana, who stayed with his family when she was touring Canada. During that visit, she ventured up to Ben's nursery to play with him and his siblings. By November, Markle took a hiatus from Suits to fly to London. Around this time, stills from her show Suits were released, showing the actress's first raunchy love scene. Prince Harry was upset by the photographs and asked Kensington Palace's press secretary to issue the official statement protecting Markle, which was ultimately criticized by the British press. Some thought Prince Harry had been too impulsive, while others believed the public was entitled to know what was going on with the royal family. But what do you think? Number 5. The couple, who reportedly started dating in July 2016, knew each other for less than a year when Harry popped the question. And it happened at least 4 months prior to their announcement. This would mean that Meghan had already agreed to Harry when her famous interview with Vanity Fair was published, in which she confirmed that her relationship with Harry was serious. The reason why the couple didn't announce their engagement earlier was that they wanted it to stay a secret. However, everyone in the royal family knew about it. The couple was not officially engaged, though everyone in Kensington Palace knew they had been privately engaged since the late summer. But this was Meghan putting herself out there in a confident, proactive way. Coming to number 4, the general consensus is that Harry and Meghan are hoping to intimidate the press into agreeing to avoid unflattering stories about the Sussexes, such as their extensive use of private planes while supposedly advocating for the environment. Of course, they may just want a payout or a settlement. The British press has paid out many times in the past, including suits brought by the Cambridges and Prince Charles. Just recently, it paid out a few settlements related to the phone hacking suit. Still, a 15-year-old case seems to be an odd way to get rich, particularly when the phone hacking affected Prince William so much more than Prince Harry. Number 3, the spectacle of royals publicly grasping for cash is also rather unappealing. Also, any lawsuit exposes Harry to discovery, although it apparently much more limited in the UK than it is in the US, and possibly to testifying in person. Since Harry isn't the world's brightest fellow, being forced to field questions from sharp, highly paid lawyers for the media companies could be an invitation to disaster. Number 2, many observers are guessing that Harry and Meghan have gone so hard against the press at this inopportune time, they have completely negated whatever good publicity they got from their trip to Africa because they have something to hide. Perhaps, they say, a big story is about to break, and Meghan and Harry are trying to inform the outlet in advance that they're lawsuit happy. This threatening posture can work. When was the last time you read anything about Tom Cruise's personal life? But enough people are following the Sussexes that it is pretty easy to guess what they might be trying to suppress. What do you think? Are they trying to keep something from us? Number 1, Harry's past may have been a wild ride, but a lot of the drama Meg keeps behind her about her own family and former friends is pretty interesting. Her older half-brother Thomas Markle Jr. has claimed that he's at the lowest point of his life, and he claims that he lost his job and home due to his sister's fame. Markle Jr. was recently evicted from his rental home in Grants Pass, Oregon, and is now living in a small hotel room with his fiancée, her son, and their 2 dogs. In an interview with The Sun, Markle Jr. blamed his sister's global fame for his downward spiral and claimed that he has been unable to find a new job or a new place to live due to being known as Meghan's crazy brother. Markle Jr.'s relationship with his sister has been strained for some time, with the half-siblings previously criticizing Meghan in the media and claiming that she turns her back on family and friends if she believes they are of no use to her. Meghan's fans have called Markle Jr. and Samantha opportunists seeking to exploit Meghan's fame for their own gain. However, Markle Jr. has claimed that he has been living under a microscope since Meghan's engagement to Prince Harry in 2017, and that he has been unable to find work or secure a new place to live due to the negative attention brought on by his sister's fame. Despite the strained relationship between Meghan and her half-siblings, it is clear that the Duchess of Sussex's fame has had an impact on their lives and has brought both positive and negative attention their way. While Meghan enjoys a luxurious life with her husband and son at Windsor Castle, her half-brother is struggling to make ends meet and find stable housing. It is unclear if Meghan and her half-siblings will be able to reconcile and repair their relationship in the future. In her new book, The Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister Part 1, Meghan Markle's half-sister Samantha makes some controversial claims about the Duchess of Sussex. According to Samantha, the royal is allegedly ungrateful for the financial support provided by their father, Thomas Markle, and is described as being demanding and belittling and controlling. Markle is said to have received whatever she wanted and needed from their father, but instead of showing gratitude, she is alleged to have acted in a controlling manner. While the book paints both Meghan and Prince Harry in a negative light, Samantha claims that it was not written with the intention of attacking her sister or her in-laws. It's worth noting that this is not the first time that Samantha Markle has made headlines with her comments about her half-sister. She has been vocal in the media about her strained relationship with Meghan and has previously made controversial statements about the royal family. However, it remains to be seen how much weight these latest claims will carry, especially given Samantha's past behavior. Regardless, it is clear that the Markle family has had its fair share of drama and controversy, and it seems that this latest revelation will only add to the ongoing narrative. Meghan Markle's divorce from film producer and literary manager Trevor Engelson has been the subject of much speculation and rumor. The couple was married from 2011 to 2013, and while it was originally reported that the union ended due to Markle's busy filming schedule for Suits, new details have emerged about the breakdown of the marriage. According to a friend of the exes, Engelson was shocked by Markle's decision to end the marriage and felt like he was a piece of something stuck to the bottom of her shoe when she told him she wanted to divorce. The decision reportedly reportedly came totally out of the blue and caused a rift among their friends, with many reportedly choosing to take sides. Markle's former best friend Nanaki Pretty, who was the maid of honor at her first wedding, ended their friendship due to Markle's alleged treatment of Engelson. Pretty claimed that Trevor definitely had the rug pulled out from under him. He was hurt. It's worth noting that these claims come from a single source and have not been independently verified, but they do provide insight into the potentially tumultuous nature of the couple's divorce. Markle's divorce was one of the reasons why her engagement to Prince Harry initially caused a stir, as she became one of the first divorcees to enter the royal family. While it is not uncommon for people who have complicated relationships with their exes, it seems that Markle's divorce was particularly contentious and caused rifts among their social circles. Regardless of the circumstances surrounding the end of her first marriage, Markle has moved on and is now happily married to Prince Harry with their 2 kids, Archie and Lilibet. Starting off with number 10, Mad Meghan. Meghan and Harry's whirlwind romance has been in the spotlight pretty much since they got together. With fans and haters watching their every move, this couple is used to getting lots of attention, whether they like it or not. When Harry got with Meg, people started watching Meg like a hawk, dissecting her every move. Naturally, when you're part of the royals, people are gonna be more inclined to know what you're like. As someone part of the royal family, displaying strong emotions is not necessarily expected, especially in a public setting. After being invited as a guest speaker at the Power of Women charity benefit, Meg seemed irritated after pictures of her were published where she was seen lashing out at an employee in the parking garage. Pics published in the Daily Mail show her looking pretty ticked off while pointing directly at someone. Some believe she was scolding one of her employees, while others say she was letting a parking attendant have it. As a person, I feel like keeping your cool in inconvenient situations is pretty important, but as a royal, I think Meghan should have been more mindful of her position and the amount of eyes on her. But hey, there's always more to a story, right? And it's hard to figure out with pictures out of context. Number 9, 14 top staffers. When the series Harry and Meghan dropped, a lot of criticism came out of it. And of course, the palace insiders were seething with rage at allegations made in the Netflix docuseries. The trailer was also slammed by online trolls who called the series hypocritical. In conversation with Sky News Australia's Paul Murray, Meghan Kelly mentioned her perspective on the bullying allegations and how they were coming out from the abandonment of her friends and family. Her wedding peppered by only celebrities and no one who actually knew or loved her. Ouch, that one even hurt me, and she isn't even talking about me. Kelly also brought up how the palace lost 14 top staffers in the past few years, and how it's not normal to lose 14, especially at that level when you're royal. People probably really want to work for you. I think it's more about needing to work rather than wanting to work for the royals, but yeah, I'm sure someone's dream job is to work for an entitled and privileged family, who, might I add, have very specific demands. Royal family lovers don't come for me, just my personal opinion. The haters were quick to bring their opinions into the discussion, calling the couple out for writing a letter making it clear that the monarchy is a horribly oppressive system. Right before signing their letter, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This outrage has caused former employees to voice their frustration with NDAs that limit them from saying anything about the lies in the Netflix docuseries. One of the palace staffers claimed that Meg knows the workers can't financially protect themselves by going to court, so she thinks she can do whatever she wants without many repercussions. Counting down to number 8, the royal ultimatum. Before Meg and Harry's relationship was made public, there was some turbulence. The streets are saying Meghan apparently told the prince that she'd break up with him if their relationship was not made public. Maybe she wasn't sure whether the scandals would be worth it if the relationship wasn't serious enough, or she wanted that royal status ASAP. What do you think? Was her motive to be known as a royal member, or is there more to the relationship we may never know about? My girl Meghan seems to love her man enough for the world to know and wants the same. An ultimatum does seem a bit extreme and almost manipulative though. But do you think Meghan forced his hand to release a public statement announcing their relationship to the world? According to a source, the nature of this media push was rageful, which made Harry start freaking out and worrying for his relationship. Number 7, complaining. During the royal tours, the smiles and nice photos covered up the behind the scenes of the tour, which was apparently a nightmare. This tour is an amazing time to empower others and be a good role model as a royal. It's tradition and is keen for the royal family to build good relations and is also good publicity. Only issue is Meghan didn't see the importance in that and has been quoted on multiple occasions by staff for saying, "I can't believe I'm not getting paid for this." Meghan, you got to travel the world and be treated royally. Is that not enough? I get time is money, but if you're doing it for the man you love, wouldn't you just want to do it for him and his family instead of for personal gain? Number 6, Meghan Beckham. An English TV personality says the Duchess of Cambridge became increasingly frustrated with Meghan's attitude towards her privileged position and feels she ruined her relationship with her brother-in-law Harry. Kate apparently was not amused by the way Meghan was behaving. You never see Kate whining and moaning, and she's had a fair bit of bad press herself, but you don't see her going on TV. She does it the right way. Meghan should have taken a leaf out of Kate's book. According to Lizzie, Kate also blames Meghan for ruining her once close relationship with Harry. Before Meghan came on the scene, Harry, William, and Kate were so close. Now Harry seems to be a different guy. It seems Meghan has alienated him from his friends and family. Lizzie adds that just like the Queen, Kate's biggest fear is that Meghan will sell out the monarchy for millions. The Queen is worried Meghan will go nuclear. She's worried she will go to the Oprah Winfrey talk shows and spill all the beans on the royal family. I mean, look, already her friends have gone and said the royal family is toxic. I think the Queen had to take firm reins and let them have their way, let them go, because she needed to take control. Lizzie also claims Meghan's ultimate goal is to turn herself and Harry into global stars like the Beckhams, and she won't let anyone, not even the royal family, stand in her way. Don't forget, I met Meghan a few years ago and Victoria Beckham was there, and Meghan was squealing with excitement that Victoria was in the same building as her. I mean, I have to admit, it's a bit of a red flag if the person you are getting into a relationship with is souring your relationships with people close to you, especially family. But then again, there's always two sides to a story, and who knows how biased these stories are. On to number 5, mocking Harry's traditions. Yikes. I don't know if you've seen the docuseries yet, but Meghan has been slammed online for mocking having to curtsy to the late Queen in the series. The American Duchess was discussing how unusual she found it to have to curtsy to the Queen, saying it was like medieval times in episode 2 of the new doc. Not being able to handle other cultures or traditions in other countries seems like a red flag, and mocking them? I don't know, Meg, doesn't seem like something you should be joking about. Anyway, she dramatically bowed low to demonstrate her first curtsy to the beloved former monarch, before straightening back up with a small giggle. Online commenters were quick to slam her for appearing to mock the institution of the monarchy. One critic tweeted, "Meghan Markle mocking the monarch with that supposed curtsy? How utterly disrespectful of the British people and their tradition." Another seethed, "Meghan Markle mocks the respect of a curtsy for a beloved queen, mocks the tradition of the monarchy and the UK, and finds herself adorable while doing it." A third fumed, "The worst part is Meghan mocking having to curtsy to the Queen and that stupid mocking voice she uses after. Most people will be offended by her mockery of an old beloved woman." However, others defended Meghan and said that the scene was hilarious. One commenter said, "The curtsy part was so funny to me. Watching Meghan do that deep bow and Harry's face, I can't lie, it was kind of funny, but also a little awkward." On to number 4, Mad Meghan Part 2. Meghan was accused of abrasive behavior towards staff members and diplomats. Looking back at the Sussexes' visit to Sydney, Australia, where they received an amazing reception, Bauer writes, "Meghan was allegedly abrasive towards her 4 female staff and even towards the local British diplomats." According to one report, Meghan allegedly threw a cup of tea into the air. Not the tea. He continued by saying that her anger may have been partly fueled by Harry. Every night he trawled social media, searching for snide comments on the internet. Every morning, he and Meghan turned on their phones to surf the internet. That does not sound very healthy to me. Australia, as covered in past videos, didn't seem to be as fun as the couple may have hoped, and it's been reported they were feeling down in the Down Under. Good one, right? On to number 3, Meghan over Harry. If we look objectively at the couple, since breaking away from the royal family, who has gotten the better end of the deal? Meghan Markle is living in LA, pitching Hollywood decision makers, voicing Disney documentaries, and positioning herself as a woke cultural voice. Prince Harry has given his family the cold shoulder, severing ties with his late grandma, father, and brother. He's reportedly been depressed and feeling down. The high point may have been when he was filmed reading Thomas the Tank Engine. It doesn't take a genius to figure out who's benefiting. The final straw was watching Prince Harry throw his grandmother and all she's accomplished for the Commonwealth over the past 67 plus years under the bus, just to provide Meghan Markle with yet another cause to pursue. And as if that wasn't bad enough, he made a complete fool of himself by showing his lack of knowledge on the matter. That part didn't surprise me. Looking silly seems to be what Prince Harry specializes in these days. Number 2, the Queen's thoughts. How did the late Queen Liz feel about his grandson's wife? Queen Liz once said he is too in love with Meghan. Queen Elizabeth was truly delighted when she was informed that Harry and Meghan were tying the knot. However, she was under the impression that Harry was perhaps a little over in love with Meghan. That was the most the Queen had ever said against the new Duchess of Sussex. Was Queen Elizabeth implying that the couple's intense love was actually a red flag? Prince Harry is known to be close with his grandmother, and he may have taken that into account when he was considering being with Meg. And it seems like a lot of his other family was not necessarily thrilled with his decision to tie the knot with her either. But again, two sides to a story, right? And last but not least, what kind of royal family drama is it without the royal in-laws hating the newcomer? Prince William allegedly absolutely hates his brother Prince Harry's wife Meghan Markle. A friend of his own wife, Kate Middleton, has claimed. In an explosive interview, the unnamed friend of the Princess of Wales shared just how much Prince William dislikes Meghan and blames her for his falling out with Prince Harry. She stated that the family blames Meghan for it all and absolutely hates her. She mentioned how the brothers shared an incredible bond, but when Meghan came along, everyone warned Harry, but she just ripped him away. The bond is completely gone, and the series is just the latest betrayal. Their friends said that the couple's relationship is really toxic and destructive for all of them. At the end of the day, they are a family who feels as if their family life has been ruined by Meghan. Clearly, the family is upset from whatever the couple has been spilling about them in past interviews and now the docuseries. But it is interesting to think about how Harry never thought to expose the royal family this way until he got with Meghan. Is Meghan contributing in getting Harry to expose his family's drama? On the other hand, Harry is a grown man and is able to make decisions for himself. But it is important to note that his whole family shares the same sentiment about Meghan. Red flag? But speaking of family, Meghan does not have the best family ties either. Meghan Markle's relationship with her family was a hot topic in the run-up to her wedding. Her husband-to-be inadvertently caused a stink when he said of the Windsors to BBC Radio 4, "It's the family that I suppose she's never had." Prince Harry's comment hurt the Markles, who hit back, "She's had a really good family." Half-brother Thomas Markle Jr. claimed, "We were as close as we could be." So why did Harry shade them? So many questions, not enough answers, and from the looks of it, we'll never know. Number 10, lack of support. In the infamous CBS special with Oprah, Prince Harry explained that the lack of support and understanding were his main reasons for leaving the royal family. Harry's frustration with the British press is no stranger to the public, and he confirmed that it was a driving force to remove himself and his family from the situation because he could see where it was headed, in what could be a reference to the struggles of his mother, the late Princess Diana. Prince Harry also explained his efforts to protect his family from the press. "I asked for calm from the British tabloids, once as a boyfriend, once as a husband, and once as a father." Harry then went on to explain how the move was about getting away from the UK press and because they weren't getting enough support from the firm. Harry also admitted that his father stopped taking his calls because of his decision to move. Sounds like King Charles got a little salty. When asked about his immediate family, Harry said, "My father and brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave," and later agreed that if he had the support, he'd still be there. Number 9, And although there were many people who did not like their decision to leave the royal family, Harry said that the late Queen was not shocked by his decision. Her Royal Highness acknowledged the challenges they have experienced as a result of intense scrutiny over the last 2 years, and she supported their wish for a more independent life. The first 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan mostly focus on the intense scrutiny and what would end up being their war against the British tabloids that continues to this day. It's rough out here for the couple. They really can't seem to catch a break. Do you think the media is being too harsh, or is it deserved? Even though it might not be relevant from the way the media portrays Harry's relationship with his grandmother Queen Liz, Harry made sure people knew that he never blindsided the Queen, which was said in reference to the stories surrounding their departure from the royal family. According to Harry, the story emerged from the institution. One thing Harry is gonna do is throw some shade at the royals. In an interview with Good Morning America ahead of the memoir's launch, Harry said, "My grandmother and I had a very good relationship. It was never a surprise to anybody, least of all her. She knew what was going on, she knew how hard it was, and she never said to me that she was angry. I think she was sad that it had gotten to that point." It's a good thing Harry has that kind of support from his grandmother, considering most of the other royal members did not appreciate his decision. Number 8. Harry being a prince and all, it would obviously be harder for him to jump into the dating scene without the media wanting to be involved in everything he does. That being said, according to their miniseries, when they met in 2016, Harry explained that he was terrified of her being driven away by the media, the same media who driven so many people away from him. Ouch. To Meghan, the concept of the monarchy was foreign, and she admitted during an interview that after their engagement announcement, she didn't quite understand what she was getting into when she and Harry first met. "Because I'm from the States, you don't grow up with the same understanding of the royal family," she said. I don't think either Meghan or Harry knew what they were getting into. Admitting she didn't know much about him, the only thing she asked when her friend wanted to set them up was, "Well, is he nice? 'Cause if he wasn't nice, it just didn't seem like it would make sense." Touché, Meg. Number 7. The press coverage on the couple was starting to become more vicious, and Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, told her daughter that she believed it was because Meghan was mixed race. In a rare interview featured in the 2nd episode of Harry and Meghan, Doria remembered, "I said to her that this is about race. You may not want to hear it, but this is what's coming down the pike." Mama Doria knew what was going on because much of the earlier coverage of their relationship unapologetically made reference to her background or race. Tabloids said she was from the wrong side of the tracks, and the Daily Mail ran a headline that read, "Harry's new girl is almost straight out of Compton." As gross as these headlines sound, them actually being published almost feels like a joke. These tabloids cannot be serious. Harry and Meghan were married in 2018, and the couple, particularly Meghan, continued to face criticism. Hashtag Meghan Markle Go Home started trending on social media, while the Times ran multiple stories about her bullying royal aides and how her demands left staff shaking with fear. A Sussex spokesperson called the accusations a calculated smear campaign, and bad feminist author Roxane Gay tweeted at the time, "These British papers really cannot tolerate that Prince Harry loves a black woman. They will never ever stop trying to tear Meghan apart." During her pregnancy with Archie in 2019, Kensington Palace staff were put on high alert due to the rise in racist online abuse targeting the Duchess of Sussex. Neil Basu, who was in charge of royal protection during his time at the Metropolitan Police, told Britain's Channel 4 that if you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, you would feel under threat all of the time. People have been prosecuted for those threats. Regardless of how much people may not like Meg, it's important to realize that no one deserves to be bullied for their identity and race, and if moving out with her family was going to help her avoid dealing with it to that degree, I personally don't think anyone should be offended by that decision. Number 6, over the course of several weeks in what's known as the Sandringham Summit, the couple negotiated their exit as senior working members of the royal family. It was an unprecedented move that sent shockwaves through Britain. Although we would have preferred them to remain full-time working members of the royal family, we respect and understand their wish to live a more independent life as a family while remaining a valued part of my family, the late Queen Elizabeth II said in a statement at the time. The move was dubbed Megxit by the Sun newspaper on January 9, 2020. The use of her name rather than a collective term for the two of them was interpreted by some as Meghan being the instigator, despite it being highly publicized that it was a mutual decision. attention. During a panel called The Internet Lie Machine in 2021, Harry explained, "Maybe people know this and maybe they don't, but the term Megxit was or is a misogynistic term. And it was created by a troll, amplified by royal correspondence, and it grew and grew and grew into mainstream media, but it began with a troll." Following their departure from the royal family, the couple took out several lawsuits against major news publishers. For the invasion of privacy, they sued the Daily Mail for the unauthorized publishing of a private letter Meghan wrote to her estranged father. For defamation, they took the Mail on Sunday to court and won when they published an article that alleged Harry had tried to keep secret details of his legal fight to reinstate his police protection. Harry and Meghan really said mess around and find out. They are not playing with anyone. Number 5, when Harry released his memoir Spare, it would be his experience and stories told for the first time in his own words. The book takes readers through the Duke of Sussex's life with the British royal family, from his mother, Princess Diana, passing away, to how the moment led to his decision decades later to move to America with his wife, Meghan Markle, and leave Buckingham Palace for good in 2020. Number 4, Prince Harry has said he stepped back from the royal family because the British press was destroying his mental health. In a rare one-on-one interview in which he discussed the pressures of royal life and his move away from London, Harry told the Late Late Show host James Corden that he decided he needed to get his family out of there, and that he preferred the depiction of royal life seen on the Netflix show The Crown to the one published in newspapers. I think we all do, Harry. It's so much juicier. We all know what the British press can be like, and it was destroying my mental health, he said during the segment. I was like, this is toxic, so I did what any husband and father would do. The prince and his wife Meghan quit as working members of the royal family in January 2020, a step that caused a crisis within the establishment. Harry was fine with starting a new life for his family, and as long as they are happy with the adjustments they've had to make, it shouldn't matter, right? Number 3, Harry and Meghan have been mired in a long-running war of words and lawsuits, with a large portion of the tabloid media fighting multiple legal cases against publications and photo agencies that had printed details of their private lives. Meghan won a privacy claim against the publishers of the Mail on Sunday after they published a letter she sent to her father and launched a stinging rebuke to dehumanizing media organizations after the verdict, saying the damage they have done and continue to do runs deep. My life is always going to be about public service, and Meghan signed up to that, and the two of us enjoy doing that, he said, echoing comments the pair made after the Queen announced last week that they would not return as working members of the royal family. Kind of romantic that Harry chose his family over the royal life, which not a lot of royals can relate to. Cough cough King Charles. Number 2, even though they aren't going to be making money as working members of the royal family, the couple has found other ways to collect their checks. Along with their highly controversial Netflix docuseries and the new memoir Harry just released, we are keeping an eye out for any other projects this couple is planning to be involved in. Their production company Archwell Productions signed the $100 million deal to make the Netflix series, as well as a $25 million deal with Spotify where Meg hosts a podcast and discusses real-life issues with celebrities. They are currently working on a docuseries inspired by Nelson Mandela called Live to Lead. Drop a comment if you're going to be tuning in. Even though they were not paid for the interview they had done with Oprah, it cost the royal family their reputation. Meghan and Harry chose to expose the royals in the CBS special where allegations of racism were brought up, unfair treatment towards Meg, and even how they were cut off financially by the royals after stepping back from their royal responsibilities. As juicy as the memoir is, Harry does not seem to hold back his distaste for the relation the royals have with the British media. Harry even insinuated that the relationship the royals have with the press has dictated a lot of kinds of attention and headlines they've had, calling them an extended arm of PR over 30 years. We already knew how much Harry dislikes the paparazzi, especially after his mother's fatal car crash, so I guess there's no surprise that he decided to go in on the British media and their invasive tactics, things. So I can't blame him for being annoyed with them. I can only imagine how tiring it is to have to be careful of how you live to avoid making headlines as often as they already do. Number 1, last but not least, Harry's 2 children, who also happen to be mixed race, were a leading factor in moving out what they claim to be a toxic environment for their family. As risky and controversial as their announcement to step back from the throne was, Harry did say if it wasn't for the inheritance his mother, late Princess Di, left him, the decision would not have been as likely. Maybe they would have taken a different approach to how they live their royal lives. What do you think? Would they still have made a decision as big as moving out if it wasn't for Princess Diana? If Harry was the next in line to the throne, I wonder if his priorities would be different. That would be interesting, right? Watching the next in line of the throne figure out what their next moves would be would most probably be much more detrimental to the crown than the 5th in line. We all know Harry never liked a lot of the things that happen within the royal family, but watching him expose the royals the way he's been doing after getting with Meg puts into question whether he would have made a similar decision if he married any other woman. Unlike many other royal family members, Meg has been very vocal about the treatment and her experiences with the family, which has caused a lot of backlash. Many people even think that if it wasn't for Meg, Harry would not have made the controversial decision of moving out of the palace and stepping away from his royal duties. Even his relationships with his own brother seems to have become much worse than what it was before he was dating Meg. As problematic as the prince is being right now makes us question if he's always been like this, or being with Meg has driven him to become like this. Do you think the topics Harry chose to discuss in his memoir was his own decision, or do you think Meg played a role in influencing that decision?